Let me guess. You clicked on this video because you really want a good book to read. I hear you guys. I understand it. You're probably reading a lot of 1-star books, which honestly sucks, or you're probably reading a lot of 3 stars, which can be such a hard thing to accept when you've read a giant pool of books and none of them have wowed you, but at the same time, none of them are terrible. It's kind of this mellow point where you are itching to feel in love with reading again. And this is the video for you. I'm here to give you guys the best books I've ever read, the ones that as soon as I picked it up, I had to continue it. I had to know how it ended. I had to see and to finish the story because it just meant that much to me, guys. So we're gonna get started. Oh, can you guys see him? This is a little stuffed animal I have. His name is Achilles. He is named after Achilles from, where is the book at? From the Song of Achilles, right here, y'all. I was contemplating whether I was going to name him Achilles or Patroclus, but then I was like, I have to mentally think about how to even say the name Patroclus, so I'm definitely going to name him Achilles. Anyways, the first book I want to mention is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. This is one of the top 5 books I have ever read in my entire life. So this is contemporary literary fiction. This is a book, let me see, it's not really that chunky. It's like 420 pages. So this book follows our main character, Anna. Now Anna is around 13 years old and she has an older sister. So her parents had the older sister, and then the older sister had cancer. And so once her older sister gets diagnosed with cancer, her parents try to find a treatment for the older sister. And the doctors are like, hey, none of your blood is gonna match for your daughter because the treatment was a bone marrow treatment. But none of their blood matched enough for them to be eligible to get transferred to their daughter. And so the doctor said, hey, one thing y'all could try is to have another kid, which would be their closest blood relative, is to have another kid and, cross your fingers that kid might be a match for your daughter who currently has cancer. So they ended up having their youngest daughter, Anna, who is our main character. And Anna, we're following her story, and she, out of the gates, you feel her pain. She's like, yeah, my whole life revolved around my older sister. It revolved around me consistently going to doctor's offices, doctor's appointments, hospital visits, so that they can take my blood, take my platelets, take my bone marrow, do random surgeries on me for the sake of my sister. Here I am, 13 years old, and I know that my parents don't truly care about my opinions, my free will, and what I want. In this book, she's pretty much saying, she has no say over her own body. And her parents are consistently, putting her through surgeries, having her be in pain, and having these horrible recovery times that's affecting her health, her school, for her older sister. And she has no say over this, okay? And the plot line of this book is so interesting, guys. The plot line is that Anna, her little 13-year-old self, is trying to, what is that word? She's trying to, oh my gosh, what's that word when you're trying to be a teenager, but you want to be an adult? Wow, Morgan, what's the word called? Wow, what's the word called? Emancipate. Got it. She wants to emancipate herself and become a legal adult so that she has full control over her body. And it's this incredible, weird family drama where we are kind of seeing it through Anna's eyes, but at the same time seeing how Anna's parents treat her after Anna comes out and says, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I want control over my body, and I no longer want to give anything away to my sister. I no longer want to give her my blood. I no longer want to give her any of my organs. I don't want to do any of that. Sorry, sister. It's mind-blowing. Guys, it's perfection. Read it, please. Next book. Okay, the next book I have is a book series. It is right here, my other prized possession. It's a trilogy. Starts off with The Knife of Never Letting Go. This is the Chaos Walking Trilogy by Patrick Ness. This book is like the first, oh man, guys, this is like the first book I read that kind of got me into reading, where like after I read this, I was like, I need to read more. I was like, maybe I should read more books because these were amazing. So I read these when I was like 16, 15, 16, 17, around those ages. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this book series is also a movie. I hope and pray that y'all have not watched that movie, because you should never watch it. It is horrific. I love Tom Holland to death, and I honestly think he makes a perfect Todd, which is our main character. But I think that whoever made that movie did a horrible job, and they should be ashamed of themselves. That is what I think. So in this trilogy, we follow our main character, Todd. So this is like a science fiction book where Todd is on a kind of like unknown fake planet, and he lives in a community where there's only men, and he is right now the youngest kid in the community. I think he's around 13, 14, and in this community there's no men, and he's actually taught to believe that there's no women left on earth. That's kind of what he believes as the book starts. And another big crucial thing in this book is that there are, which you could call like powers. And so all of the men, they all have the power of the noise. And what the noise is, it just means that you can hear everyone's thoughts. So, you know, examples in this book are Todd might be walking down the street and he can hear the thoughts of his neighbors and other people around the town. You know, if someone is like maybe daydreaming about something, sometimes their whole daydream will like appear in front of them as like a picture, like a fading picture, and like any person can just see what they're thinking of. Also, because of this noise, the men can also hear animals' thoughts. And our other main character is Todd's dog, Manchi. So we also kind of get like a back and forth between Todd and Manchi. Love them. But the plot of this book is Todd and Manchi go out into the forest one day to do something. And the whole idea of this book is that no matter where Todd goes, it's never quiet, because there's always either men around where he can hear their thoughts, or there's animals around where he can hear their thoughts. But at one point he goes into the forest and it's completely silent. And it's this moment where he's like, wait, it's never been completely silent. And should I tell you what's up? You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. But let me just tell you that once he discovers what it's going on, it is epic. Guys, I have never in my life reread a book, which is such a weird thing to say because I love rewatching TV. I don't rewatch movies often unless I'm watching it with someone else who's never seen the movie, but I do rewatch TV like the back of my hand. But yeah, I've never reread a book, but if I did, I'd probably start with this series because it truly formed it. You know what? It changed my brain chemistry. It did. What can I say? Oh, all three books are masterpieces. Please check them out. Oh, guys, this video is making me so happy. The next book I want to talk to you guys about is called The Art of Racing in the Rain. This is a book that I currently do not own. It's actually really funny because I saw this book last week at a used bookstore, and I was going to buy it, but then I thought to myself, hey, this is a book that I truly feel like is top 10 books I've ever read. And because of that, when I buy it, I want it to be brand new, and I want to kind of, you know, completely do the annotations in that book and make it my own. So I decided not to buy that book at that point, but at some point I will buy the physical copy. But the book is called The Art of Racing in the Rain. Ooh, you know what's so sad? I don't know who that's by, but here's the book. And so in this book, we are following our main character. Our main character is a dog. And the coolest thing about this, his name is Enzo. The coolest thing about this is that this book is told specifically from Enzo's kind of internal monologue, internal narration. And so this entire book, he is a family dog, you know, and he kind of tells his life story. And it is just so beautiful, guys. Oh, it's crazy because I begged my best friend to read this book, but she said that she physically could not do it because she is a dog person, and she said dog books she just will never read because they'll break her. And I was telling her, I was like, yeah, this would break you because it broke me, and I'm not even a dog person. I don't even like dogs like that, bro. I remember I had like 3 chapters left one night, and it was 3 a.m. and I could not sleep, guys. I could not go to bed. So I, whipped out my Kindle and I finished those 3 chapters, and I was bawling my eyes out, trying to hide my scream cries. I was trying to hide my scream cries. It is so beautiful. And there is a movie, and I have not seen it, but I am totally down to watch it because it does have Milo in it, and I think he is just everything. So I definitely want to watch that movie, but you guys need to go read that book. Okay, the next book I have for you is also a book series. Now this is the Red Rising book series. Red Rising consists of quite a few books. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Red Rising consists of 6 books. Currently I have 4 of them. I have the second and third in the trilogy, and then I have like the the 4th and the 5th in the, I don't know, second part trilogy that Pierce Brown made. I don't have this first book with me because I gave it to my brother very recently, so cross your fingers that he reads the book. He is not a reader, guys, but if you guys have read Red Rising, you'll know that this is such a book that I feel like I feel like it's a good recommendation for like a guy who likes action, enjoys like sci-fi, space, war kind of stuff. Like if you are in that realm or know someone who enjoys stuff like that and they're not readers, I definitely think if you could get them to start the book, they would adore it. It is just so amazing, guys. So Red Rising is science fiction fantasy. We follow our main character Darrow. This is also kind of like a suspend your disbelief kind of thing. I know it's weird because it kind of follows real life, but we are, thousands of years in the future. We are kind of still using our solar system, but our like the people in the books are separated via color system, and that's through generations of science fiction, gene mapping, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like they did some weird stuff with the DNA, and so humans are now different colors. So you have a whole hierarchy of colors. Our main character is a red, which is at the very, very bottom of the hierarchy, and at the very, very top are the golds. And so what's going on is the reds have been lied to their entire existence. They have been told that they are they're at Mars right now, and they are trying to terraform Mars so that it is livable for themselves and other colors. But our main character Darrow discovers that the other colors and the golds have been lying to them forever, and the truth is that Mars has already been terraformed, and that there are already people living on Mars. But at this point, the reds are like living in the fucking tunnels of Mars, like deep, deep, deep. And so they're like mining away, thinking they're about to help the world, the generational world. But in truth, they've been lied to forever, and the other colors are on top, at the very top of Mars, living, in luxury. And so Darrow discovers this, and long story short, his whole goal is to somehow pretend he is gold. So literally convince everyone this man is gold through crazy things he does. He does insane things. It is amazing. Go read it. But he, changes himself to become gold, and his whole goal is to infiltrate the gold system and then fuck it up from within. And it is so good, guys. It is so good. It just makes me so happy to think about that book series because it genuinely was magnificent. But I have to say, I only enjoyed the trilogy. I personally did not enjoy Iron Gold or Dark Age, and there's a reason why I don't have Lightbringer on my shelves. Is because I didn't. It's because I don't own it, and I've never read it, and I don't plan on reading it. That's just my opinion. I just didn't enjoy all the changes that were made in those 2 books. I understand the changes, I just don't like them. So, but definitely still worth the read, and yes, they are my prized possessions. Now, the next book I have is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Guys, this book is so good. So this is my one little romance book up here. And so this book is by the amazing Taylor Jenkins Reid. And so in this book, we are following our main character. I'll be honest with you, I forgot names. But anyways, we're following our main character. And the main character, she was married, okay? And one day her husband goes on a work trip on a helicopter. The helicopter crashes, body is never found, but he is presumed to be dead. And so she has to kind of pick up the pieces and move on with her life. Now, fast forward 2 years later, she meets a new man. She falls in love with this man, truly falls in love with this man, and they get engaged. And one day they're having lunch with her fiance and their family. She gets a phone call. She's like, hello? And the guy on the phone's like, hey, it's me. It's your husband. I didn't die. And her world is flipped upside down, guys. Here she is in this insane dilemma of having her current fiance and her now not dead husband back. And she has to kind of figure out where she wants her life to go, who she's going to choose. So this whole book, she has literally kind of really thinking about her life and where she wants it to go and where she's been.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh my God, I hate Siri. That's terrifying. But anyways, she is trying to figure out which person is the right person for her. And when I tell you this book broke me, I mean it. I have a reading vlog on that book if you guys want to watch it. It is absolutely hilarious. I am so funny. But anyways, love that book. Amazing. Highly recommend it if you love her writing or just want a romance book to pick up, and it's nice and short. Now, the last book I have to recommend is called Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie. I think her last name is Garmus, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I try to make it my mission to remember authors' names of books that I genuinely enjoyed. I'm trying my best here. But this was another book that caught me by surprise. I had heard of this book for a hot minute, but never picked it up because solely based off the cover, I thought this was like a rom-com, which is fun to think of now, but I thought it was a rom-com. Obviously, looking into it, reading the synopsis, I discovered it wasn't a rom-com. So this book is about a woman named Elizabeth, and we're in the 1960s, so kind of gender equality is not great, and she is a chemist, and so Elizabeth is a chemist, and she is just trying to break into the world of science and be respected as a scientist, a chemist. And she's had just so many bad things happen to her that you would think would discourage her or make her quit, but she continues to strive. There is a beautiful little romance in this book that has my whole soul. But super weird left turn in this book is that she has a career change where she becomes a TV cook, where she's being recorded live TV and she's kind of cooking on air. And the show is kind of geared toward the everyday housewife. But in this little show, she is kind of very slowly but strategically uplifting these women, teaching them how to cook, but also how to be respected and how to what's the word? Don't let people walk over you. She really tries to push that into their brains. And it is just a beautiful story of someone who refuses to let society tell her who she can be and what she deserves. It is a beautiful story. So many other characters in that book that have my whole heart. And it was such a surprising book that I love from start to finish. I would love to own that book because it is so beautiful, guys. It is such a pretty book. I would love to own it. I do not own it currently, but I would love to. And guys, those are all of my books that I recommend for those. And like I said, those are the books that I would sell my soul to read again for the first time. Oh my gosh, guys, let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you plan to. All right, bye.